Well, hello and welcome to Super Summer Series TV, episode 1 of season 4, which kicks off this Wednesday night for round 1 at Melbourne Airport Golf Club. It is fantastic to be back with you for season 4. 11 teams all set to go at it again. Really looking forward to it as we get into our 4th season with teams really now being cemented. We are going to be joined by Ben from Berkeley Golf, who's going to come in now as we look ahead to preview round 1 and announce the handicaps for the upcoming round that have been lodged formally by the commissioner, who has got some new modelling, which Ben he will talk to us about, launch his own video to tell us how the modelling is going to look for this season. But excited to be seeing what that's all about. Welcome to Super Summers TV.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks for having me. And looking forward to seeing what our new commissioner has in for us for the upcoming season.
Right, let's get straight into it. And just a special announcement, we know that there are some outstanding fines by player Coghlan. There was $98.25 that was left on his ledger. I can announce that has been paid. You would have seen a post by Peter Bagger-Horn, who actually paid it. He wasn't liable to pay it. The fines rested with player Coghlan, but Bagger's decided to play it and obviously get a bit of a clean slate and a fresh start for the upcoming season and leave the baggage behind from last year.
Yeah, look, I think Peter Horn has just had enough. The Spazball name's been dragged through the ringer too much over the last 12 months, and obviously he just wanted to cut ties with Chris Coghlan. Obviously, he's still staying on board in some way, shape or form. He just wanted to get that outstanding fine done. It's a bit like trading your player for a future 4th rounder in the AFL. Just wanted to get rid of him and get that fine over and done with.
Some legal proceedings would have loved to know what's that about, but I think, unfortunately his name was tarnished. Peter Horn, I think he just needed to move forward. Now, Coggers are still apparently on the list, still on the playing list for Spazball. We may see him this year, and we may actually, he's obviously on the WhatsApp group, and the Treasury from Super Summer Series may still benefit from Chris Coghlan during this season, because I don't know that he can contain himself after his disengagement and the behaviour that demonstrated at the end of the last season. So I think we may not have seen the last of Chris Coghlan in the Super Summer Series.
Certainly not if he gets on the Reds on a Friday night. He might go on a bit of a tangent.
Righto, let's have a look at season 2025-26. It is 11 teams. We do have a bye round. We've got Double Legal, the new team, joining us. It's fixed Wednesday night comp, so no rescheduling. So all teams are encouraged to have that third player or draw upon the pool players. And this week, as we preview the teams, Ben, we're already seeing 2 teams availing themselves of the pool players. Handicap, no penalties on the handicap. So it's a really good initiative. We get to see all teams on a Wednesday night. There are other rules apply. If you play as a single player, just the 2 drive, that's all you're allowed. And if it is a no-show, it's a forfeit. So looking forward to Wednesday nights being where we all get together and play this great competition.
Yeah, great rule change with the no rescheduling. I think we'll get the social aspect back into the competition and get some enjoyment and some banter back out on the golf course.
Let's get straight into it for round 1. The teams and the handicaps. We've got Berkeley & Co. versus the Goodfellas. The handicaps from last year, Berkeley & Co. at 4.5. Goodfellas finished the season on 6.5. But before we get into that, Ben, I'd like to thank you. You put it to the commission that all teams, to take this competition to the next level, all teams need to have a logo, and tell us about this initiative.
Yeah, look, I decided to run with, obviously led by Andrew Graham. He obviously had his own logo design concept, and I thought, as someone involved in the SSS who has direct access to the commissioner, I thought I'd pitch it to him, and obviously get every team with a logo. There were 2 or 3 design concepts that were sent to the commission, and these were the ones that were decided upon.
Yeah, so the commission's decided they're now trademarked, they're registered against each team. There may be some tweaks to a couple as we go through some refinement, like all good logos, but essentially there's a couple that are locked and loaded. Obviously the Goodfellas locked and loaded, Spazball and the Fuggies. They were some great concepts that were put forward. Let's have a look at the handicap for this big match this week. Your handicap for Berkeley & Co. is 5, so going up by 0.5. And the Goodfellas go from 6.5 to 7, so just the 2 shots. You're playing with Lockie this week, who's back with you. And my understanding, it's Pete and Mick for this week. How do you see this one?
Yeah, look, I think 5 and 7's fair. I think they're pretty fair handicaps adjudicated by the new commissioner in BJ. I think we'll go down to the wire. If we play at our best, I think we can get that two-shot deficits. Obviously the good fellas, they play the game nicely. They think that, they don't take it seriously. But from all reports, it has come across my desk that there was a practice round played in South Australia by Pete Venables this week, who, says we don't care. We just want to play for fun and get around each other. Well, practice rounds before the first round obviously tells you that he's quite serious and he wants to get the first win on the board, and in particular against us in Berkeley and Co.
Righto, the next one we have a look at is Live Golf versus the Blue Gorillas. The handicap for Live Golf last year was 0. So some fairly handy golf being played. The handicap for the Blue Gorillas finishing down the bottom at 3, so fairly harshly done by. Live Golf sees fit enough just to raise a little bit to 0.5, and the Blue Gorillas, clearly some off-season words with the handicapper have paid dividend, and they've got a 2.5 kicker coming into the season. Now, the big thing about the Blue Gorillas we can announce tonight, unfortunately, Matty Mullins is out with a wrist injury, could be out for 6 to 8 weeks, so we wish Matty all the very best for that. But having the handicap now locked and loaded, we can announce that Matt Thorley is coming in to partner with Wayne Johnson in this big game against Live Golf, which shapes this up to all new levels this week.
I'd like to see some medical evidence to suggest Matty is out for 6 to 7 weeks. But Wayne Johnson certainly wasn't happy in the off-season with how his handicap was adjudicated. And obviously, he had a quiet conversation. He did ask for BJ's direct line, and I did pass that on to him, and he's obviously had a chat. Mop is a grade in, regular player down at Gisborne. So certainly a grade in for Wayne Johnson. And I think this one will go down to the wire. I think if 6 shots, it's a lock. We're going to ask a lot of Mark Allison this week to really lift the game.
He needs to lift. He needs to contribute. And with a couple of quality partners in opposition, I think the BJ needs his partner to get on the fairway and contribute to the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tuller's not an easy course to navigate, so you do want to have your wits about you, particularly when you're off the tee. So the pressure will be on Mark Allison to lift and try and get the first points on the board for Live Golf, who, I fancy as a premiership favourite. It's right on them. I think that's a fair handicap assessment for them, and I think that's fair for the Blue Gorillas too. So I do think the handicapper has done well on this occasion.
Let's go into the next one. It is the Specialist Fielders versus the Water Cannons. Now, again, a very big handicap. They absolutely shot under the card amazingly last year. Their handicap from last year was 3.25. They're going to +3, so just down by 0.25, so still 3+. And the Water Cannons from 4 to 4.5. That's generous. They made the finals last year. I don't know how they've been managed to actually, their handicap has gone up and not come in. But that is like a 7 or 8 shot, pretty much an 8-shot gap coming into round 1 on a new course for the Specialist Fielders. And Mitch Jamison is out for this round. So at this stage, I believe the mail is right. It'll be Cam Thorley coming to partner with Luke Delbridge for Wednesday night, which makes that handicap all the more difficult for the Specialist Fielders.
Yeah, look, this is probably one I raised questions on. The Specialist Fielders didn't make finals last year. They were at 3.25. I think 3 is still harsh. I think they probably could have come into around the 2.5, 2.25 mark. However, that's what the handicap's adjudicated. If there's any suggestion of nepotism from the handicapper, it's obviously swashed away on this occasion. Not sure how the Water Cannons have gone out. Again, riding the system. I'm not sure how they can go from 4 to 4.5. There's serious questions on that.
Who gets the game? Who gets the bickies here?
Water Cannons will hold out. Mitch Jamison's a big out. Questions are going to be asked of Luke Delbridge to really carry the team. Cam Thorley is a very handy and competent golfer, so he will have some good help. However, the Water Cannons will hold off 8 shots to the margin.
Okay, let's have a look at the next one. It is the new team, Double Eagle, up against Spazball. The handicap, Double Eagle, not applied from last year, but Spazball had the handicap of 1.5. Double Eagle come in with, as all new teams do, the handicapper gets very generous, come in with a handicap of 9. Spazball coming in, going out, have a look at that. Spazball going out from 1.5 after finishing on bottom of the ladder. Some very generous handicap modelling there, coming into 4. So 5 shots over the 9 holes. Your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, double eagle golf. Obviously, that's the last time a team started on 9 was the Fuggies, and they went on to win the premiership. So I'm not too sure on that adjudication. However, having seen the form of Andrew Graham recently, a 10 or 11 could have been justified in all seriousness if the handicapper was present at the round at Melton yesterday. Not sure Chris Coglin's that good a golfer for his loss to go from 1.5 out to 4. Bag is clearly the heavy lifter in that duo, so not sure how the handicapper saw that 1.5 with Chris Coughlin in the team, and now that he's out, it's gone out to 4. But yeah, that will raise questions.
Who wins this one?
We'll see how it fares this
Jules
week.
Guerra making his debut in the Super Summer Series as the half of Andrew Graham and Double Eagle. You know, will he be up to the pressure, the expectations of the competition, or will Spazball, with the experience of Peter Horn, get over the line?
Spazball's got to make a statement this week, and Peter Horn's going to get the win. Spazball's been dragged through the mud over the last 12 months from his distant partner in Chris Coughlin. So, yeah, I certainly think Spazball will come out and make a statement.
We welcome his partner Dave Driscoll to the competition. So we welcome Dave and we wish him all the best in partnering. And we think obviously it's going to be a more harmonious duo for this season. And they can just focus on golf and not all the off-field distractions that unfortunately brought Spazball undone in last season. Let's have a look at the last round. It is the Golf Gods up against the Fuggies. A big handicap for them last year at 4.25. The handicap for the Hug, can you believe they won a premiership with a handicap of 5.25? It was too much for the Golf Gods right come. It is the premiership replay. Let's have a look how the handicaps look. Coming in just slightly, but still 4 over the card. So the Golf Gods may have thought they might get a little bit more generosity from the handicapper, but at 4 plus, and the Fuggies come in at 4.5. So rightly got a clip after winning the grand final. Did they get enough of a clip? I'll let you comment on that. That's still pretty much a shot a hole coming into the round one for the grand final replay.
No, they didn't get enough of a clip. That should be down to at least 4, in my opinion. The Golf Gods, I think that's about right. I think they're a pretty good team. They were right in it up until about hole 7 or 8 in the grand final last year. So I think +4 is fair. Yeah, the Fuggies 5.25 and a 4.5 is not acceptable. I think that should be at least 4, if not a 3.5.
Who wins this one? Grand final rematch.
Golf Gods will be out for a vengeance, and they'll make up that 8 or 9 shot gap. You got to win a premiership to have a hangover, and I think that's what will happen with the Fuggies this year.
Yep, you're banking on them not repeating their achievements of last season.
I cannot see the Fuggies making the finals this year.
Let's move on. The St Albans Old Boys have the bye. A handicap of 3.5 was where we finished, finishing on top, making the finals, losing a semi. The handicap is still under review by the handicapper. He did lodge the handicap, but we've just asked that to be reviewed, and he's considering the objection that the St Albans Old Boys put in to that. He brought us down to a 3 from a 3.5. So we're the only team that kind of came in, and I felt that that just needed a little bit of consideration. The handicapper was very open to some feedback, admitted that he actually got the review of last season wrong, thinking that we played in the grand final, and has agreed to just undertake the review. So hopefully we've got round 2 for next week.
If you let me ask my question there, Commissioner, I am learning in that there is some information that has come across my desk that you have strong-armed your new appointment into, and you weren't happy, went full Hitler again, and weren't happy with your handicap adjudication. I'm laughing because I find it astounding that the only team's handicap under review is the St Albans Old Boys.
Well, that's because it came in and the handicapper has admitted that he didn't get it quite right. Excuse me. So we look forward to that coming in, and for round 2 when we get up for our first game.
So just to clarify, there was no strong arming from your point of view under your new appointment.
We work as a unit, a very united front on the commission, and there was a conversation and there was an acceptance that the review needed to be undertaken. That's how we work on the commission. And we have robust discussion where there needs to be robust discussion. That's what makes a good competition. That's what makes a good committee. That's what makes a good commission.
Why did you feel it was only your handicap that needed to be under review, considering there are a few...
Everyone else pretty much came out, apart from the premiers who came in, which was absolutely right. So let's move on. You've got the team rankings. Quickly, let's run through it. For the season, who's going to win it this year based on your early modelling?
Live Golf, they've obviously put themselves out half a shot. convenient from the handicapper. Has put them out half a shot. I see them as the number one team to beat, and a big redemption tour from Mark Allison. Specialist fielder and golf gods, flip of the coin really at 2 and 3. I think they'll be right back up there. Specialist fielder is always a strong force, as are the golf gods. Spazball, they'll play finals in my opinion. Peter Horn's going to come out and get Spazball back to its rightful glory and obviously back into the limelight, and really stray away from his distant and
He was an
tumultuous
anchor.
partner, Chris Coggins.
Coggins was an anchor for them last year, and so with that being relieved, unchained,
Yeah.
I think we can see Peter Horn being real freed up.
Yeah, in particular now that he will assume the captaincy as well.
Double Eagle, so everyone can read for themselves the rest, but Double Eagle down bottom of the load, you don't see them making an impact in their debut season.
I did have them at 6 or 7 on Saturday when I was doing these rankings. However, I asked you to change them last night after watching Andrew Graham play at Royal Melton on Sunday. I mean, apart from 1 or 2 good tee shots, he looked to me and reminiscent of a hack golfer, and more suited to probably the Keilor Golf Club, really, in the way he was teeing off. Not much to show for in between from tee to green. A lot of duffs, a lot of water balls. It was a concerning look, and if I was Jules, I'd be concerned about the partner he's got at his hand. And
a rightful handicap at 9.
yeah, it could have been pushed out to 10 or 11 if BJ was playing, but obviously, look, 9's probably about right. I think it could come in. The last time a team was on a handicap of 9 to start the season, they ended up winning the flag. So, yeah, look, a lot of trust to make up for Andrew Graham with his new partner in Jules.
All right, well, that brings it to an end. Wednesday night, Melbourne Airport Golf Club from 5 p.m. $20 is what you need to pay for the green fees, and carts are available. For those of you who would like to avail yourselves a cart, the people at the Melbourne Golf Club will be happy to accommodate. Get yourself some beers. That's all I ask. Get a beer, be able to take around, or buy a beer after the round. Registration for this year remains at $75. That is now payable. I will put something on the WhatsApp group for the account details to where that can be paid, but that is payable. Might be able to make it back to the Keilor Hotel myself this Wednesday night. We have a cricket club committee meeting, but more often than not, that's where we'll be dining after the round. Really looking forward to round 1. Good luck to all the teams. Thanks for joining us tonight, Ben. Good luck for you in round 1, and all the best for everyone for Super Summer Series Season 4.